You already know. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Yesterday we had our college signing day, which is always a fairly gratifying day. It's always interesting to see who signs where. And here's the issue. Let me just get right into it. I ain't gonna bullshit you. The problem with all of this media attention that these high school kids are getting is as always, as they do in the NFL and as they do in college, they spend way too much time talking about and covering the skilled positions. Let me just tell you guys one thing. Any one of the real ones, the real football people that are listening to me right now. If you want to build a winner, you have got to build that offensive line. Got to have five grown men up front. Not only do you need five grown men up front, but you also need to create a pipeline. You got to create a pipeline in which offensive linemen and defensive linemen, for that matter, are coming in abundance, like just packs of them every year. You got the best. Let me give you an example. I used to work at a gym named LA Fitness in Laurel, Maryland. All right, this is the reason I stumbled on where is because the location is very, very relevant when it comes. There's hundreds of LA Fitnesses out there, and they've had hundreds of employees. But the reason this particular LA Fitness in Laurel, the location is very relevant. Here's why. There was a pipeline. All right. I was a sales associate there, and I remember one of the regular members was a guy named Edwin Williams. Edwin Williams, who played offensive tackle at DeMatha, went on, I believe he played for Maryland, and he played in the NFL for a couple years, all right? That's very relevant because we're talking about DeMatha offensive linemen. And I remember being in high school, playing at Good Counsel and being a linebacker, and my first start was actually against DeMatha, and I balled that game. I actually dominated that game. We shut that, me, myself, and the great defensive linemen that we had, we shut that running game down that game. And I remember Coach Gent, my linebackers coach, coming to me. He came to me in the middle when it was time to play them again, came to me during the week. He goes, "Hey, look, I know the offensive line coach at DeMatha, real nasty guy." He looked at me just like that. He goes, "Real nasty motherfucker. He's not going to really take too kindly about the way you guys were shooting his A-gaps and shit like that. So there's a big-ass red X on your jersey. So come ready," right? So ever since then, every time I'm playing linebacker, people used to tease me all the time about how low I used to get in my stance. I'm like, look, ever since that kind of an experience, you're going to get low. You're going to get nice and low, right? Because you're going to get your head knocked off when you're playing against big boys like that, right? So anyway, I'm working at this LA Fitness, and Edwin, like I mentioned, just got out the league, right? And I remember, the reason I remember is because it was that year was the Math and Good Counsel in the championship at Capital One Field at the University of Maryland. I remember that they played that Sunday, and then they came in that Monday. His friend, it was the DeMatha guy, and one of his boys came in just talking hella shit, like, what's up, beat y'all sorry asses, right? And they was talking shit, hey, they won, we'll give them that. But anyway, that Monday after DeMatha beats Good Counsel in the championship, I saw like it was late at night at LA Fitness, and I saw another offensive lineman that was currently in the game, like played at DeMatha currently. His name was JP, who ended up signing to Texas. And he's lifting. Understand this, he's lifting right after, the day after his team won the championship. And I'm like, whoa, I remember I approached him like, whoa, wait, didn't you play in the game yesterday? And he goes, yeah, hell yeah, I can't keep the offers coming if I don't get up in here and lift. I don't rest yesterday. Just understand, they just won the championship, and his ass is in the weight room the next day. Not even his high school weight room. He's in a LA Fitness, like a local gym type shit, saying, fuck it, if the school's closed, I'm gonna get mine in. That's the mentality, all right? It's the mentality. It's the pipeline. Understand, college coaches, this is what college coaches recruit, all right? Not only that, let me tell you, if I was to, listen, well, now that I'm thinking about it, that was the same year there was Cyrus Cujo and Cyrus and his brother Ari coming out of DeMatha, went to Alabama, went to the league, and currently, in fact, if you really take a deep dive into this, currently the gentleman, the center from Michigan, who won the offensive lineman of the year, he came out of DeMatha. All right, again, Pipeline. Understanding if you want to build a powerhouse, you want to build a pipeline, you want these college coaches coming in and out of your school, you got to have that pipeline up front. You got to have those young, you got to have grown men. In fact, I'll close you out with this, because I remember when I met Coach Sudan Ellington. I remember meeting him when I met him when I started working at a gym named D1 that's no longer in business, but I remember connecting with him, and he runs a company named Big Skills Academy. And I can remember, I'd always see him at camps and games and combines and all those kinds of things, right? And I remember it was after a DeMatha game. He was actually, well, first of all, Coach Sue, congrats on the position. Congrats on the college coach. I believe he's at Limestone College in Carroll, so congrats on that. Happy for you, bro. But I remember it was after a DeMatha game. They had just beat St. John's. They just beaten St. John's. And I remember I overheard him and the DeMatha offensive line coach. He was talking to a parent, and the parent, they had the little young pup, trying to get training and stuff like that. And I remember the DeMatha coach just points to Coach Sue, and he goes, "Hey, look, Coach Sue, best in the business." Again, so it's not only a matter of college coaches looking for high schools to have that pipeline. It's the great high school programs that are looking for great O-line trainers, people that can come in and teach their O-linemen the important stuff. Understand, that's where the real game is won and lost. It's not won and lost with the skilled positions. It's not. They're playmakers. They make a lot of great plays, incredible athletes. I understand that. But you got to get those grown men up front, offensively and defensively, if you want to build a winner. All right. I'll do a whole lot more on this. Trust me, I have a whole lot more on this. It's one of the reasons that I actually decided to take my skill set, to add boxing to my skill set, teach people how to box, hand quickness, all that stuff. Listen, I got a whole lot more on this with the Plus LY athlete bundles. I'm looking for all the O-line camps, all the QB camps, all that kind of stuff. Just get ready. Again, 2023 is about to go. It is fucking going. It's about to go to another level. All right. Aswand, and for the website to check out for all the information is makeyaMove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.